Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 338.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two
crazy
ketos.
ketos.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's Labor Day.
First day of September. Happy birthday to everybody that is having a September birthday, including my Aunt Carolyn, whose birthday is actually today.
Your birthday and Miriam's birthday is in a couple days.
Lynette and me and Miriam all have a September 3rd birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to, this is my last year in my 40s. That's crazy to think
pretty
of.
good.
Well, thank you. So I've seen a lot of people like doing a fit before 40 type of protocol. And I think that this year, during this revolution around the sun, I am going to do a fab before 50.
Fab before 50?
Fab before 50.
Rachel got the greatest compliment ever yesterday.
I did.
So we went to Disney's Hollywood Studios. I just decided that I just wanted to get away for a few hours. Been working really hard here on the farm, and this week we've got Peyton. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Peyton, but like calm before the storm,
right?
You know,
Oma Opa time.
Exposing, as Stephanie said early start. Yeah, because we have to go get Peyton, so I want to make sure we get everything in. But we're waiting online. I don't remember what ride. I feel like it was
a Star Wars one.
The Star Wars Smuggler's Run ride. And this lady just looks at Rachel and she's like, I am admiring how toned your arms are.
And I was like, you just made my year. So thank you for that. I appreciated that a lot.
Do y'all do this? And we're going to get into Keto Beyond the Couch. But do y'all do this where as you approach a milestone age, like 50.
It's a big one.
Like I'll be 55. Do you start Googling celebrities who are your age and going, I look better than that person. No. I know I don't look as old as you. I absolutely have Googled like different celebrities who are my age and go, I don't think I look that old.
I'll tell you what it is I
can't be the only one who does that.
I don't Google current celebrities, but I will look and see like, well, what did Tom Selleck look like when he was 49? And what did Suzanne Summers look like when she was 49? Like that I'm interested in.
I recently met somebody that I've known for a while, but I found out how old that person was.
And you were shocked.
And the person is the same age as me, actually a year younger. And I'm like, no, I know I don't look that old. And it makes me feel good about myself.
That is a terrible thing to say.
I'm not saying it to that person. I'm saying it to myself.
Like, I look better
I'm never gonna go to like somebody that I know personally and say, I look younger than you.
We sound terrible, but I think that you have to put that against all the times we're so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
Like we're also like, oh my gosh, why can't I look like that? Like, so it's a seesaw effect.
So welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, this is Keto Beyond the Couch. Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do it live whenever possible. And the way we like to do this is just celebrate our subscribers. We go through our social media, mostly our Mighty Networks group. If you're not a member there, go join. It's completely free. Members.twocrazyketos.com. If you want to help to support the channel, you can join one of the paid groups over there where they're $5, $10, or $25. And you get some extra things like, for example, on Wednesdays, Rachel does a very more intimate coaching live with everybody that's in the paid groups. But the main group is completely free. So the way we like to do this is we're going to go through everything and we pre-prepare. We won't pay too much attention to the chat until the very end of the stream, like the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if you have a question, hold off until then or use the super chat function. That's the $sign that's down below in the chat window. When you do that, it does two things. It does really help benefit the channel, which we really appreciate. It costs a lot to run this channel and we don't make a lot of money. But more importantly, it's going to highlight our screen and let us know that you have a question.
You got to deal with Carrie's question. That's amazing.
I did see a question here from Carrie before we get into everything. It says, question for YouTube. With all of your coffee trials, have you found a maximum of raw eggs blended in a hot coffee before it gets too gross in any way? I'm up to four whole plus a yolk and 24 to 30 ounces.
You're amazing.
I would say
You're
one
amazing.
egg per 8 to 10 ounces is good.
That's about my limit.
And so I think you're probably right there, but it's whatever you enjoy.
That's always going to be like subjective.
And if you have not tried it, it does sound gross.
It does sound gross.
Adding a raw egg to your coffee sounds gross, but if you blend it right, which is you have your coffee and then with your blender running, you add your egg in. It won't cook the egg. It's kind of like when you're making a custard and you're slowly putting stuff in. And it makes the coffee very creamy. So if you don't want to use cream or something like that, an egg yolk is perfect for that. Plus, you're getting a whole bunch of protein and fat. And it's a great way
to
have that fat coffee, but without just using gobs and gobs of heavy cream and butter. And again, you're getting something out of it because you're getting a whole bunch of protein.
Well, and a lot of people will say, I have a really hard time getting my protein in. Here's a way to disguise it. Like, especially if you're a big coffee drinker, like I am, my mom's a big coffee drinker. It can be a way where you can, get extra in. But if you're like, I have never done this before, go ahead and start it with a larger cup of coffee and an egg. Like you're saying, a ratio of like 8 ounces to an egg.
That's about the most I would do.
But
who drinks an 8-ounce cup of coffee?
Right. But if somebody is like me and you're like, you've never done this before and you're a little ambivalent about it, go ahead and take your much larger mug and then just try one egg in it and just see. You're pretty much looking at that point for like, do I not taste it? Right. I'm looking to not taste it at this point. I think Tabitha's dreaming over there.
Synergy is much better than me. Says, I don't Google celebrities or anyone else to compare looks. I don't think about my age very much. I think
you're so much better than me.
I didn't think I would reach this age. I now am very aware of my age. And because of that, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, that I look younger than I am. And it helps to remind me of how far I've come. So Lolo said, I'm looking at my age now. I used to look 10 years younger than my actual age. Not anymore. It makes me sad.
I don't think that's true, Lolo. You are gorgeous. Like, honestly, like, I was shocked at, like, you had your son on the low carb cruise, and I was like, you don't look old enough to have an adult son that old. And I know you have grandkids too, but it was like, I'm telling you, sometimes we're just hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time.
Okay. So Aaron had a quick question before we get into everything. It said, I noticed with some flavored K-Cups, my CGM shows an increase in my blood sugar, though I'm not seeing anything besides artificial flavors or whatnot. Are there hidden sugars in them? Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure there are some that have hidden sugars with K-Cups and espressos.
There's so many brands.
There's so many different brands. More than likely, it's the caffeine hitting you. And, caffeine, especially if all of a sudden you get a bunch of endorphins and stuff like that, you can have an increase in blood sugar. I would look at what is the increase? Is it a couple of points or is it 60, 70 points?
Right. Big difference. My necklace wants to go.
Okay, let's jump into, before we get started, today's video sponsor is Perfect Keto.
Hey, Perfect Keto.
If you've never used Perfect Keto, we love their products. My favorite thing is their NOLA bars. They are great for on the go. They're a nice little snack thing. I actually have to order some. I only have a few left. But today is the last day of their Labor Day sale. And the Labor Day sale is a stack sale. So it's 10%, 15, 20, 30, all the way up to 40%, depending on how many items you buy. So I think if you buy 5 items or more, you get 30% off. And then if you subscribe to them, you get an additional 10% off. So if you need to get some products, they have collagen products, sleep products. And of course, like I said, I love their NOLA bars. Use the link down below or the QR code on the screen. Now, you will always get 20% off when you use our link, but this is a really good sale to stock up if you need anything. Okay, let's jump right into Keto Beyond the Couch. And we're going to start off with this one here from Kelly.
Hey, Kelly P.
Said, each day is a new opportunity to improve yourself. Take it and make the most of it.
It's your day. Every single person gets the same 24 hours, but everybody doesn't care about their 24 hours the same. And I am somebody who pre-keto when I was struggling with so much anxiety and depression, I lost days. I lost days of my life that were just served up to unhealthiness and depression and just letting the days pass by.
Right.
And that's no more. That is no more. And, we can have different focuses of today. Today, as it's Labor Day, you may be going to a barbecue later. You may be seeing some family. And okay, the focus for today is fellowship. And if today is the day of fellowship, then I'm going to encourage you to just go in with such a strong attitude of like, I can't wait to have conversations and to love on people. Sometimes I think that we see these like family barbecues or like these get-togethers are like, when can I leave this thing? Because this is my annual thing. And like every year I have to go and do this. And like, I'm going to see this one person or this other person that like is not my favorite person on earth. And it's like, I wish that I could get back the family reunions that we used to do on Labor Day when my grandparents and that generation was still alive. Like, these things don't last forever.
Yeah. Next one we have is from Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Said 8 years ago, my ring size was a 26. I've had my wedding ring resized twice already. I decided to go out and buy a cheaper ring with silicone inlay. Feels really nice and comfortable. My new ring size is a 12.
Wow.
What? 14 sizes smaller.
Larry.
That is amazing.
Larry, way to go, and thank you for helping us to have eyes on different things is when it comes to victories, even scale victories, because you can say, hey, like there's swelling going down. The inflammation is leaving all the places. And a lot of times I can remember when I would be like, oh, I am swollen, I am hurting. And where does it show up, ladies? It shows up in the jewelry.
Yeah.
A lot of times the ring.
I actually need a new wedding ring. I haven't worn a wedding ring now in probably about a year and a half.
Are you leaving your options open?
No, because what happened was I have a wedding. It's still in the Hyundai, in the little center console in the front. But what happened was a couple years ago, I got stung by a lionfish.
Yes.
On this finger.
People may remember that.
And I was able to get it off.
It was a race.
It has never gone down correctly since. So I can't fit it on. And even my silicone rings don't fit right. So I just don't wear one. But listen, hey, I'm not going anywhere. But I do kind of miss having a wedding ring. Although the callus here, it's still there, but not what it used to be. Because I always get a callus right here for wearing a wedding ring.
I have nearly a million times said, why don't we just get a tattoo? Like, you see how people, I've thought about that a million times because it's just easier. I always wear the silicone, and like usually anytime I see Peyton, she's like, I want to wear that.
That would be painful. I like tattoos, but certain areas I'm not willing to. I actually,
but it's a one and done.
There's a nice scripture that I want to tattoo right here. The reason I'm not getting, and that's not even a pain thing, it's a money thing.
Yeah, it is very expensive.
I have so much other things that I can spend that money on. I saw a reel with
somebody getting her first tattoo. Excuse me, I think she was in like her 70s at the time. She got her husband's name tattooed on her face.
No.
That was first tattoo.
No. I want to capture. I want to do a scripture in Greek right here.
Can you imagine Joseph?
And I've been planning it for a year and a half, I guess, a little over a year. And I just, now that we've moved, I don't know any good tattoo artists here.
Yeah.
Next one we have is from Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
I have a question. I just ordered KetoChow. I went through the link on a video, but I did not get the 10% off. Does anybody know why? I even tried 2 crazy ketos in the coupon box. Okay, so whenever you want to get a discount, always use our link. Okay, we don't have a coupon code. So far as I know, I don't think anybody actually has a coupon code anymore. A lot of companies, we've talked about this a couple weeks ago, are steering away from coupon codes because they get put up on those things and it affects the companies, it affects the content creators. Use our link. So there should be a link in the bottom. It's usually like the first or second line of every one of our videos. It's also on our website. Now, if for some reason you use that link and you don't get the 10% off, there's one of two things. Something just got screwy. At that point, I would contact KetoChow's customer service and ask them why. They're pretty good, and I'm pretty sure that they can kind of go ahead and give you a credit or something back. But a lot of times when you don't get the discount, it is because what's happened is you've ordered something that doesn't get a discount, like a subscription. Like if you sign up for a subscription, you can't get 10% off on top of the subscription. I wish you could.
But it's already discounted.
You can't. Most companies do not allow you to tack coupons on top of sales. Like KetoChow, if they're having a sale, will. But if you're using like reward points, it's one or the other. You can't put the coupons on top of reward points, and that's how most companies are. Now, like an exception being like right now, Caraway, today's the last day of their Labor Day sale. They're having a big sale, and you can use our link and get 10% off on top of the sale.
Yeah.
But with KetoChow, if you're getting a subscription, if you're using your reward points, you can't tack the 10% off on top. But it doesn't hurt to contact customer service and ask them about that. We do appreciate it when you guys use our link because, again, that is how we support the channel. Like I said, it costs a lot of money. I mean, we spend like $400 a month just in internet alone to be able to do stuff. And so we really appreciate it when you use our links and whenever you buy something. If you want to buy something on Amazon, go just to one of our Amazon links, click on that, and then go buy the Amazon stuff. It's a great way to support the channel without costing you a penny.
Speaking of sales, thank you, Chris. I just put up the Caraway cookware. They're having an amazing Labor Day sale, and you do get to stack that coupon. Mm-hmm. So you get like whatever the sale price is right now for Labor Day, and everything is on sale on their website. And then you get 10% on top of it.
His wife's the one who introduced us to Caraway for your birthday.
And I freaking love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Next one is from Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
It may not mean much to some people, but to me, it was a huge non-scale victory win yesterday. I am struggling with diet sodas. Me too. I decided to give myself 1 week to prove to myself I can do without it. It was a tough day, and as I know how addicted I am to Dr. Pepper Zero, but I made it one whole day without any.
So awesome.
Normally, I would have at least 3 to 4 cans throughout the day. And I know it's horrible. That is why I needed to do this challenge to get control over it. I just pray to get me through another day without that temptation.
Nancy, I am so proud of you. And thank you for letting us know and like everybody to have like an opportunity to say, hey, there's this one thing. Sometimes we go like, you know, I'm just wiping the slate. Like, we're just going to do this like really hardcore challenge that's, you know, eliminating every single thing. And it's just beef, salt, and water for the next 6 months. But saying, you know what, I really think that I can pinpoint the one thing that I overindulge in. And I just want to eliminate that one thing. I just want to think about one thing.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we're like, I'm going to be 98% better by next week. How about 1% better?
Yeah.
1% better is better. That's awesome.
And I'm the same way. I definitely overconsume soda. And then every once in a while, I'll go through a thing like, I'm not going to drink as much. Like right now, I'm drinking the lemonade. It's the lemonade Element.
Yeah.
There it is right there. But I did want to mention Element just announced lemonade flavor is permanent now. It was like a limited edition trial flavor, and they've made it permanent. But a lot of people have asked, like, how do I get more apple cider vinegar in my life, right? Mm-hmm. Because apple cider vinegar is really good for you. What I like to do, and that's what I have in here, is I put the lemonade salty, salty needs a lemonade flavor,
right.
But the lemonade Element, and then I put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in with it.
And it's not overpowering.
You barely taste it.
Right.
And it's a great way to kind of add that in there. Also, like making our coleslaw, because you're getting apple cider vinegar.
I have overflow salty in my drink because I was making a big batch of electrolyte popsicles for Peyton. She loves, like most kids, love anything that is like a popsicle form. But I am not getting even like real fruit popsicles. I'm just making the popsicles out of salty.
Yeah.
And it's cold and refreshing, and there's a lot of flavor variety, and so she can enjoy those. So I was making those, and of course you never know like how much is going to fill that popsicle thing. And so I had made a big batch, and I was like, oh, I still need some more. And I thought, well, that's fine. So I poured off the rest of it, and then it made me a salty.
Chris said, I don't think I've ever said, how do I get more apple cider vinegar in my life?
Right.
Next one is from Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
I turned on Keto on the couch today during my 45-minute respite.
I
saw my post featured. It's been a rough day. Listening to Joe and Rachel's advice helped me. Time is precious, and putting God first, then myself, and then my spouse has been the biggest challenge. if anyone listening is a caretaker, one helpful thing I've done is to place a scripture on my husband's side table each morning and reading it to him throughout the day.
Wow.
He is nonverbal, and at this point, he does not listen to me. And
but
he does listen to me and to the word.
That beautiful
is awesome.
What a precious, precious thing. And, you know, I think about, you know, when people wish you well over the years, or they compliment you in some way, and every single thing is precious, right? But there is something so amazing when somebody takes the time to find a scripture that they think will bless my day and then send it. And so that I know that not only am I on their thoughts, but they had like done a little bit of legwork to find something that they think that they would like to just kind of speak over me. And I think that's precious.
If you're not a religious person, if you're not a spiritual person, just finding something encouraging is a great way to go that.
And reiterate over the day. You know, like if that is the scripture for the day, or if that's the thought for the day, that like I want that person to know morning, noon, and evening, this is what I believe for them. You know, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to do that with Peyton while she's here, that I'm just going to have like a scripture and we'll just reiterate that through the day. I love it.
Next one's from Laquita.
Hey, Laquita.
With today's live, I decided to share my yesterday. Scrolling through Facebook, I saw a post for free cinder blocks. Send them down here. Wow. Contacted them and they gave me their address. I popped in about 45 minutes on one way. Got a few of them in my car, and the gentleman suggested it may be too heavy. I said, it's okay. I don't mind a few extra trips. It's a beautiful ride. I get home and another text back asking for my address because he has them loaded in his truck and ready to drive. There are not a lot of them, but if I keep collecting, I will get enough for a future product. He showed how blessed, and he showed how blessed I am.
How sweet. What a nice thing to do. When someone is giving you something for free and then they are also delivering it to you, like that is amazing.
And I was more impressed because Laquita is just doing so much functional fitness in her yard.
Same.
And that she's able to really keep, building up that muscle. And again, it's not going to the gym. I saw Carrie has a question. I'm going to answer this real quick. Wondering, since I work nights, how do I protect my circadian rhythm so that when I finally stop, I can take a nap and it not mess with me? So for night workers, it is a little bit more difficult. You need to get yourself into a groove. And one of the best things to do is, number one, when you leave work at night, you need to put on some like dark glasses. I am not a huge fan of sunglasses. I don't think sunglasses are really great for people. There's a lot of evidence about that. Like Dr. Lisa Wiederman talks a lot about how sunglasses actually ruin our eyesight. But put on some dark glasses when you leave. Go home, put yourself in a room completely blacked out and get your sleep, and then get yourself up in the afternoon or whatever. But you want to put yourself in as much darkness as possible from when you leave until when you get into bed and then while you're sleeping. And that's that. There, if you do some Googling, there's a lot of things to talk about how to protect the circadian rhythm for night workers. And a couple of years ago, we actually did an interview with the owner and creator of Vivarays, and he talks about that as well. But that's about the only time I would wear glasses. Also, I was cleaning out my desk and I found these, that when we subscribed to our Verizon tower, because that's what we started with here, they gave me these Meta glasses for free.
Yeah.
And they're like those recording where you can record video, but you can only record up and down. And they're kind of cool, but the only time I would actually wear these would be to record something. Like if I go to a theme park and you're not allowed to film things, but I'll wear
the glasses.
No,
I think that's kind of fun.
But I'm not a big fan of sunglasses unless again you're just trying to do that.
I was just gonna say, since we were answering Carrie's question, Serena is in the house, and she did a lot of like night nurse work. And so she'd be a fantastic resource because I know she worked really hard during that time when she was like a night nurse to, provide, protect her sleep as much as possible. She's a great resource.
And she said, don't switch to days on your days off. If you can help it, don't allow for interruptions. 32 years on nights until last year.
Yeah.
Stephanie, Exposing Darts, wants to know that when does Keto Reigns has a sale? They're having a Labor Day sale right now. It's 20% off.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Laura.
Hi, Laura.
My mind is my worst saboteur. Today I have to go in for a physical for work, drew blood in and all. Went to Walmart and I grabbed a few things from my place that I needed. Shopping and walking double win. It was 5 and my mind was trying to convince me to grab something to eat real quick as I was getting hungry. It was giving me places which I could mostly stay on track if I didn't eat the bad stuff. Determination kicked in, countering those thoughts to get myself home and make something which is in your plan. I drove home and made me a taco bowl. It tasted twice as good as normal. So empowering when you conquer.
That is awesome because, like, feeling like I did what I said I was going to do is very tasty. And then the food itself is tasty. I am so proud of you. That is a major victory. You are not the only person whose mind is their greatest saboteur. Like, I think all of us struggle with that to some degree. And it's different things. Sometimes we will talk ourselves out of movement. Sometimes we will talk ourselves into an inflammatory food. But when you are able to speak out loud to yourself and say, no, I am capable of doing what I said I'm going to do. I am not going to die if I don't eat this thing. I'm not going to die if I go outside and get a little bit of movement in. Like, I can push through this hard and do the right thing. That is such a victory. So proud of you.
Next one is from Sandy.
Hey, Sandy, my husband and I have been carnivores for almost 2 years. September 14th will be our 2-year carniversary. I lost 50 pounds and was at my goal weight until I started adding stuff back in. I have to go back to basics to get my recent weight gain back off. Has anyone, had a problem with always wanting to eat on this way of eating? I'm pretty sure I'm not hungry, but I want to eat because I love eating meat and bacon and pork belly. And, well, you get the picture. Until I started carnivore, I never had an appetite. I guess my metabolism was all messed up for years. So this is something entirely new for me. I'm 65 years old, and I guess I've never needed to learn self-control over food until now because I never wanted to eat before. Any tips or tricks to help me get back on the path and to teach myself the difference between real hunger and just wanting to eat?
Okay. So there are some tips and tricks, which is kind of like why this is today's title of today's video. For how do you know when you're hungry and we're just craving food?
Right.
One of the biggest signs is, are you willing to eat anything?
Yes.
So the very first question you need to ask yourself is, if you say, I'm hungry.
Would you eat sardines?
Am I hungry? Am I willing to sit down right now? Am I truly hungry? Would I eat a bowl of shredded chicken with no salt, no nothing?
Yes.
If the answer to that is no, but then the answer is, I really just want some cookies. Or I want bacon covered in cheese.
I'm just nauseous. I want a little something crunchy.
That's more of a craving. Okay?
Yeah.
So true hunger comes on gradually.
Yeah.
Cravings are more instantaneous. So if all of a sudden you're kind of sitting around and you're like, I'm hungry. No, you're probably not, because true hunger is going to come on gradually. You kind of get that rumbling in the stomach. You may feel tired, lethargic, but if you're just sitting around and all of a sudden you get this thing, I'm really hungry, you're most likely not hungry. Some tips for how to help really zone in on this. I would suggest, first of all, if you're talking about like you just want to eat all the time, you want to make sure you're putting yourself in an eating window where you're only eating 2 or 3 meals a day. It doesn't have to be like in a certain time frame, but I'm only allowed to eat 2 or 3 times a day, and you cannot eat anything in between those meals. And then when you sit down to eat until you are full. Don't eat and go, okay, Rachel and I were talking about this the other day. The good thing to do would be make a bunch. For example, burgers. Make 5 or 6 burger patties, but put 2 or 3 on your plate. then if at the end, when you're done with them, you still want to eat more, get up, go to the other side of the room, get another burger patty and come put it back. Don't pile them all on your plate at once. Because when you pile them all on your plate at once, a lot of us will just eat everything on our plate because that's what has been ingrained in us. And clean your plate, right? Be a member of the Clean Plate Club. But if you, at the end of the 2 burgers, you're full, you're probably good. So that's one thing. So making sure you're not eating in between meals and really limiting down, doing like a beef, butter, bacon, and egg for 30, 60, 90 days is a great way to really narrow it down because you're really limiting what you can eat. And it's like, if I'm not in the mood for beef, then you're probably not super like hungry. You're more of a craving. The other thing is never eat when you have any kind of emotions going on.
Yes.
So if you just had a fight, an argument, as raunchy as it sounds, if you just had sex, don't eat.
Yeah.
Don't eat when you have something emotional going on.
Just been emotionally stimulated in some way. It could be sad. It could be happy. It could be excited. Like, that's why they can sell so much food at fairs and Disney World and all that kind of stuff. You're in this, like, you're having emotions. And so they just set up stands for your emotional eating because it's like you're primed to be like, hey, we're out. We're supposed to, like, this is a festivity going on. It's emotion. And they, you know, they cash in on that. When it comes to, because I had mentioned just really briefly, the texture thing. If you're like, I'm just wanting something crunchy. I'm just want, you're not hungry enough to eat anything like Joe is suggesting, but you're like, I just want some texture. You may just want a texture interaction. And I'm going to encourage you to have some textures in your house. Like things like if I handle marbles all together, I like that clicking, clacking sound. These things are not just for children, right? We're adults and we enjoy textures as well. Maybe you like that thing where you put your hand on it and the needles go up and down. You've seen that. They sell it really cheap. It's in the toy section. Maybe you just need to play with some clay. Maybe you just need to like play with some blocks. It's okay that we're adults, but we want interactions with textures.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes we just need that. If the only interaction you give with textures is in your mouth, then when your brain wants some interactions with textures, that's the only place it's going to go. Give it some more options than just eating. Right? Yeah. We all find things that are pleasant to us, whether it's those little, those little dots that you add water to and you can feel them, right? Like, or, different, just different textures. You can have different textures. Maybe it's just your brain wanting to have an interaction with a texture.
Yeah, but those
magnets,
are some good,
I love those.
Those are some good ways to start off with, really trying to dial in with when you're hungry and then when you're just like craving food.
Right.
It is, again, narrowing things down, and then as well as really watching the different foods you eat. Now, I did see Carrie said, Joe, you said dark glasses when I got off of work. It's like 11 p.m.
Oh, so
okay, I misunderstood you. I thought you were working nights.
I thought you were like 11 to 6 in the morning.
If you're working at night and you're getting off and it's dark, my suggestion would be getting yourself some orange or red glasses and finishing off your shift with those, going home and immediately go to bed.
Yeah.
Right. And again, as Serena said, don't switch it up on your days off. Don't switch your schedule. Mm-hmm. You want to preserve that schedule. Next one is from Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn.
I agree with you both wholeheartedly. I have maintained my weight loss for over 3 years now. And if I want a keto snack to keep me on track, that's what I'm going to do.
I think what it is that people like us that will incorporate like extra things, even packaged things or keto snacks, we don't talk a lot about it. But people who are like emphatically, no, nobody should eat this. They're just like the little part that always is talking about the grease,
right?
That needs the grease,
right?
So it's like, so you feel like, oh, it's wrong because somebody that's like, nobody should eat like snacky style food, or nobody should need anything except for just meat or meat and vegetables, and that
which
should be it.
Which is true if you're not emotionally thinking.
Well, I'm just saying that like I just may want something. And if I want something, I maybe don't broadcast it. I think sometimes like we feel guilty about it. Like, hey, there's all these people that say like life should only be, meat or it should only be a whole food. And so I should never incorporate anything that's in a package because that's not in a whole food. Well, number one, I'm going to say don't believe everything you see on the internet, right? Because sometimes people, they're not showing you a 24-hour live stream of their life. They're saying like, hey, this is what I think is best, but you don't know if even they are sometimes eating
There is
something.
nothing instant about Instagram.
Right. And like, I'm not even going to go into it, but like, it's not like I haven't ever seen somebody that mostly says only eat meat.
Right.
Sometimes have something when they're on vacation. Okay. And then also, like, if you are eating, like, own your choices.
Right.
So if I am eating something that is packaged, like, make sure you have a conversation with yourself that, like, hey, I'm going to eat this. I bought this. I don't think this is going to do anything hurtful to me. I'm not trying to hurt myself. And then consume it.
Right.
Right. And if you can't stop yourself, though, if you're like at that point before you eat it and you're like, hey, you're in a package and I'm pretty sure you're going to hurt me. I don't want to be hurt by you. Right. So now I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Right?
I do want to go back real quick before we take a quick commercial break to Sandy's thing about carnivore. And you said you've been carnivore for a couple of years. I would try relaxing your carnivore for a little bit. If you're having some trouble where if you eat anything off of carnivore, you're gaining weight, or even if you're gaining weight on carnivore, this is an unpopular opinion. And I know that this affects our channel, but I have to be honest and tell the truth. There is no civilization, no human civilization ever in the history of the human civilization that has been 100% carnivore. Ever.
Felines, cats.
But that's not a human civilization.
No, that is not.
Okay. No human. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with eating carnivore and mostly carnivore, but long term, I believe that everybody should be incorporating some other foods as well. Some fruits and some vegetables every once in a while. Even Dr. Baker has talked about this a little bit, who is pretty much a carnivore, but has talked about how he has incorporated a couple of carbs and it really helped things. Dr. Paul Saladino, same thing. I'm not saying don't eat mostly meat, because I do think you should be eating mostly meat. But every once in a while, especially if you're a woman, incorporating some vegetables and a few carbs, and I'm not talking about eating bread and stuff like that, but like sweet potatoes and things like that. Every once in a while, your body needs a change. And I do not think that anybody should be long-term, full-on, only carnivore, only eating meat forever.
It's funny. So I'm just going to say this.
And if you are, I'm not against you. I'm just saying health-wise, there's no proof that is good for us.
I feel like the community is healing a bit. Because I used to feel like, okay, so the dogma was like so much pressure. It was like crazy. Like we were literally, for some people, like their booty call, like keto friends that like, right. I can't be seen with you out in public.
Well, keto is unpopular. That's why our channel is tanking.
So nobody wants to say the word, like people rebrand because they're like, I cannot have keto in the name or the title or whatever.
Because keto's not good enough.
However, now do you see what is happening? That's a little bit hilarious that it's like carnivore, whatever the heck. So it'll be like, this is a carnivore salad. And it's like, throw down the lettuce. And you're like, wait a second.
Right.
Wait a minute. Why did we just call that? Does it matter? Like, if it's here's a carnivore cookie. And you're like, oh my gosh. Like, would it kill somebody to say keto or low carb or sugar free or like literally anything else? It's just hilarious to me that it's like, it's carnivore, but it's a candy bar.
It's a carnivore candy bar. Off like on a big like, thing, but what? We could probably double our subscribership if we changed our name
to Two Carnivores. I'm not doing it.
And had the same recipes.
Yes.
And make a cookie and it's that's meat, but it's got a bunch of sweeteners and flavors and other
keto,
things.
You're like a pariah.
We're bad people because we're only
suck.
Keto.
You're not hard enough. And it's like, what?
Yep.
What?
Okay, let's
rant
take a quick
over.
Fade to black.
Yeah. And we're back with a better attitude.
Chris said, speaking of being a woman, do y'all see that beta blockers often used after heart attacks have newly been shown in a study to not help and actually cause damage in women.
That is horrific. Horrific.
Okay, let's move on to this one from Cindy.
Hey,
I
Cindy.
love your videos, but how did you initially lose your weight? Do you have a video about that? So we do, sort of. I have a link down below in the description box. If Chris is still here, maybe he could put that link in there. But it's a link of how we our weight loss journey and how we started, why we started our YouTube channel. So something else that doesn't help the channel is we did not experience our weight loss on camera.
Right.
The channel
came sure it worked
after weight loss. We didn't even think about it. We've talked about in that video why we started our YouTube channel. It was after we lost weight, because if you want to be honest, we got tired of telling people how we lost 100 pounds apiece, and then they would say that doesn't work.
Right.
Or that's stupid. So we just started we said, well, we'll make a YouTube video and go watch that. And then if you have questions, come talk to us. And that's really why the channel started. But in short, what happened was Rachel had lost a whole bunch of weight eating 500 calories a day. She lost like 100 pounds, but then was so afraid of food that she continued only eating 500 calories a day. And for 2 years after she lost that weight, ended up gaining 70 pounds, eating 500 calories a day, which is why counting calories doesn't work. And anybody who says it's all about calories in, calories out, honestly doesn't know what they're talking about. They just don't. Because yes, the amount of fuel that you consume has something to do with it, but it is not the only thing. Because if that was the case, she would not have gained weight eating 500 calories a day.
No.
Okay. So then she had ballooned up in weight. I was well over 300 pounds. And I entered into a weight loss bet. I lost a little bit of weight, but then gained weight back. And I was going to a CrossFit. The CrossFit went out of business, and I found keto. And then I didn't understand at the time. I was doing keto for weight loss. At the time, I didn't know keto's got all these other health benefits. And as I discovered them, we decided to make it a lifestyle. And then Rachel joined on. But we do talk about it in that video a little bit more. Next one is from Lady Fritzer.
Hello.
Thanks, kids. I heard you say something about exercise that I've heard 1,000 times before, and I just heard it differently today. The timer thing and how to set limits with it all of a sudden seems like the next step.
I am so glad to hear that. Yes. So I want to encourage you, if you're not getting movement in or you're struggling to get movement in, set a timer for 10 minutes a day. When the timer goes off, you are done. I don't even care if you want to continue working out. No, the timer says you're done. Now turn it off. Now, if you are like, hey, I'm in the middle of a walk, I got to walk back to my house. Okay, that's fine, but that's not part of your movement. That's just getting back to your house. That's not part of like the exercise, the workout, all that kind of stuff. What we're trying to do is make it a habit. And if you feel like for a long time, you're going to have to do like this trajectory of it's 10 minutes, then 20, then 30, and it's got to be really hard. And, you know, it's going to be something I really don't look forward to. You're not going to maintain it.
Right. I saw Serena said, I'm finding most medications have worse side effects than what they're supposed to be treating. I agree. True. And I think that part of the problem is again, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but I think that medications, vaccines, all of this stuff is rushed to market to make money.
Yes.
It used to be
tested and tested.
That this stuff was tested and tested and tested and tested and tested. I mean, if you look back at the original flu vaccine, it was like a 15-year study before being released.
Yeah.
Now we have a drug. Let's release it.
You be the guinea pig. And
you guys are the guinea pigs. And this is the new thing. And I mean, this happened kind of early on with like Ozempic and stuff. So Ozempic, it has been around for years. And I talk about GLP-1s, I think are a miracle drug when used as intended. But a couple years ago, you all probably know, people discovered that when you used Ozempic, that if you took a massive dose, it resulted in weight loss. So it was an off-label use. It wasn't determined to do that. And taking it at those doses Nobody knows what it does. So finally, it got approved where doctors could prescribe this for weight loss, but they have not tested it for weight loss. And so what happens is Dr. Berry talked about this in a video a couple of years ago when it really first hit the thing, but they asked the doctors of, here's what you prescribed this for weight loss, and then you report to us what your findings are. What kind of side effects are people having? Are they having results? They're not doing the testing. They're basically telling the doctors, make your patient the guinea pig and then tell us what you find. The problem is doctors don't have time to do that.
Well, and people...
And we're, by the way, the guinea pig.
Well, and if people are under like 24-hour surveillance, then like, yes, you can see what's happening. But if you ask me, like, what did you eat last Tuesday? You know, because maybe you have an appointment with your doctor once a month. Like, everybody tracks differently, and like,
you have to be honest.
And I don't think you're going to get like confident results. And that's on any medicine. I'm not just picking on this. I'm saying any medicine. If it's dependent on the person taking it to report results, think about family members. Think about like all your coworkers at work, right? You may love all of them, but like, reporting, like, could you trust every single one to report like perfectly?
Right.
Because what Joe is going to report back and what I'm going to report back is going to be very different in the way that we track.
And again, this is not a thing about GLP-1s.
No.
I'm just talking about, I think all medications, they're at this point, they're just throwing them out on the market and seeing what sticks. You saw this with fen-phen. I mean, it's always happened, but I think the problem is now it's getting worse. And as Chris is talking about with the beta blockers, as you see with statins, a lot of these medications are not even tested on women because women are not good test subjects.
Well, I see John saying that, you know, a lot of times you'll even hear medical like commercials talking about antidepressant and suicidal thoughts are one of the side effects. I had to change medications several times during my mental health journey because that particular medicine I was having hallucinations and also really dark thoughts.
Right.
Really, really dark thoughts. And I was experiencing some of these side effects.
Right.
And it was prescribed to me, like Jonathan, as an antidepressant.
Well, I was recently watching a video for somebody who is on some antipsychotic medications, who is on medications for ADHD, and then this person drinks several Bang energy drinks a day.
This is not a
But if you have ADHD,
right,
why are you drinking a bunch of Bang energy drinks? And then on top of that, like, are you reporting to your doctor who's continuing to up your dose on your ADHD medication because it's not working that you're consuming a bunch of Bang energy drinks? I feel like that's going to interact with each other. And I actually asked ChatGPT and they're like, well, certain people with ADHD, an energy drink could help them focus more.
Okay.
But not in the presence of the ADHD medication.
And I see Trish saying, like, you know, some of them, they'll say the side effect is both constipation and diarrhea.
Right. So which one is it?
Which one is it? I mean, I guess they're hedging their bets, but like, what can I look forward to?
It's all about CYA.
Yeah.
Next one is from Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth. Hello, everyone. I just found you. Sorry, I really do not go into that other site all that often anymore. So happy this is here. I have been keto since January 2020, but had a severe mental health crisis 2021 to 2022. I kept going on and off keto until January of this year. While not officially diagnosed, I believe I'm a late onset celiac. The only way to treat that is gluten-free. At this point, if I'm avoiding all gluten, it's not much to add sugar. And hey, presto, I've been firmly keto since then. I'm not doing this to get skinny. I'm 58. I've been overweight since I was 27 after my second baby. I am doing this so I can get healthy and have my body do what I want it to do. Going on a cruise next January, and I want to enjoy the ship and the ports. Elizabeth, thank you for sharing this. Yes, correct. I cannot like this post anymore because yes, that is the reason why. And pain is a very powerful motivator,
Right.
right? And sometimes we forget the pain and then we focus on lesser things of why we're doing this. And the lesser thing is the weight loss. Even if you're saying like, well, you know, I have this weight that needs to get off because my feet hurt or my legs hurt, right? But you can start to feel good even before you see major weight loss. When we're talking about like your inflammation going down, the joints not hurting anymore. Like before I had gotten to like more of a goal size, I already was like losing my issues with plantar fasciitis, and I was able to walk without feeling like I was stepping on broken shards of glass. Like there are so many things. And here, I love the fact that you are looking forward to January, enjoying the ports that you paid to see, and it not just being about what size bathing suit that you're going to be on the cruise.
I saw Serena said, yes, caffeine has an opposite side effect than ADHD. It helps their body and brain move in sync. Yes, that I know. But yes, they need to do that, to not do that with medication. And my whole point is, are they reporting to the doctor before the doctor is upping the medications?
I think,
and that is where I think that there is a lot of problems with these drug companies using us as guinea pigs.
Well, and I think about someone like your mother, who was a very caring doctor that was very involved in her patients' lives. You know, she was an oncologist and went to the family barbecues, you know, like went to any,
she went to the funeral
of her patients, you know, like she was very involved. And if you are not fully disclosing what all you're doing in your lifestyle, and that is something, you know, I had to check myself with as far as caffeine consumption, because I was very scared of the medicine. So like that was something that I was honest with my doctor about, because I do drink, you know, I've always drank a lot of coffee. But I think about what your mom might have been trying to do and the patient just not telling you. I mean, now if you are working with someone who is dealing with brain health issues, I really need you to tell me the truth, right?
My mom's, right before she retired, was the only time she was ever sued, which is amazing.
Yeah, 50 years.
For her entire time of being an oncologist. Yeah. And it was a patient who went to another hospital, got medication and stuff, and then came to their hospital and didn't disclose it, because this was before hospitals talked to each other and everything else.
Where you could have
and it wasn't even that my mother did anything, and she was just on staff with the residents and everything else. But because you don't disclose things. And that has always been my issue with the online pharmacies right now, where you can get medication from 10 different people and nobody knows.
And everybody's like, well, that's not what anybody's going to do. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I have proven that I will exhibit addiction behavior. Yeah. And my addiction behavior was always, if one cookie is good, a bag of cookies is great. If I'm trying to lose weight, then yeah, one shot is good. Then maybe multiple shots with nobody watching me is even better.
Yeah. Next one's from Janice.
Hey, Janice.
Can you let me know how you make your own mayo? So I left the link down below in the description.
Easy peasy.
Very easy. The easiest way is if you have a stick blender, like an immersion blender. And what you're going to do is you're going to, in the bottom of a mason jar, but go watch the video, but in the bottom of a mason jar, you put an egg, right? And then you can put in your like vinegar, your mustard, whatever you want to put in there. And then you put in your oil. And then you trap the egg yolk under your immersion blender and turn it on and lift. And and now you're also in the jar that you're going to store the mayo in. That's the easiest way.
It's nice.
If you don't do that, you can do it with a blender, like a Vitamix or something like that. But you have to put the egg yolk in, and then you have to pour your oil nice and slow so that you don't break the emulsion.
Don't break the emulsion.
You know, but the easiest way is with a stick blender. And if you go watch that video, you'll see how to do it. It's the best way to have mayo, because again, store-bought mayos, you just don't know what's in them.
Thanks,
and a lot
Chris.
of them are all made with really bad seed oils. Next one is from Lady Fritzer again. Do ribs need to rest for any particular amount of time after smoking at 205? I'm trying some spare ribs today. The pork belly thick slice slabs I threw in were marvelous in 4 hours. I like to let my ribs rest maybe 15 minutes. Ribs is not like a steak. They don't lose as much moisture when you start cutting into them because of just the way they are on the bone. I will usually let them sit for about 10 minutes, but you don't have the same like juiciness thing that you would have with like steak or a piece of chicken or something like that. Steak is always something that you want to rest the longest, or any kind of beef. That's what Rachel hates. Chicken, a little bit less. But with ribs, maybe 10 minutes at most.
And that is, yes, I do want to brag on Chris. You are a super duper pooper moderator, sir. Thank you so much for posting all those links. I will say that I think I've been good in our marriage most recently when something is done now, because I don't like to wait. And Joe's like, I'm about to take the steaks off. I now go for a walk, because otherwise I will hover and annoy. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? And I don't let it rest like it's supposed to. And then, you cut into that steak and just like all of the goodie pours out. So I am getting better about it, that like he'll say it's about done. And then I'm like, okay, I've got to go do something that's going to take me away from this place for like 15 minutes.
Sorry, I'm missing a question here, so I want to make sure I get that one. So next one is from Jeannie.
Hey, Jenny.
To other people, I say that I eat low carb, but internally I think of it as flexible keto, not dirty keto.
I like flexible keto. That's nice.
Sometimes I eat only meat, sometimes meat and veggies, and sometimes I add in berries and packaged products. Sometimes I have 50 or more carbs in a day, sometimes 0. My calories generally range from 1,500 to 2,000 per day, but occasionally I eat a lot of bacon and I go up to 3,000 calories. And sometimes I fast and have 0 calories. It's flexible and it works for me at this time. I'll change it up later if I need to.
Doesn't that just...
That sounds like
freedom? Doesn't that just sound like a vacation? Like, I love that. Did you just take us off of here?
No. I'm just trying to pull in this last comment real quick.
Okay. Maybe you can just even read it from the thing if you need to.
Nope. I'm just going to grab it
He's just gonna
here.
Do all the things right now.
Okay. So next one is from Donna Joe.
Donna Joe.
What does your shirt lib mean? So you were wearing a shirt last week. It says lib.
Yes, it was back from 2022. It is, I was locked in Barry's barn. Remember that, where Dr. Barry would say, well, if I locked you in my barn.
Well, it goes back to, are you hungry?
Yeah.
I'll lock you in a barn with a bunch of steak.
And so I got, and so basically it was like, how you would go on a ride and it'd be like, I survived, the Velocicoaster ride at Universal Studios. It was, I got locked in Barry's barn and survived it. And what's on your shirt? It's a crawfish, because he loves eating crawfish. And it said it's all fun and games until someone loses their head. Nice. Talking about the crawdad.
Okay, for some reason the other one won't upload without a background, so I'm just going to read it. It's from Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Said 3 thoughts. It was inevitable that Rachel's response to Joe growing old into a gum.
What? Oh, a grumpy old man?
Yes. I've heard a good comeback to someone telling that you should do blank. I could do blank, but I choose to do blank because it's better for me and my family and my budget.
Yeah.
And the because part is optional because you and your choice, not them and their demands.
Ooh, I like it.
And 3, she said, maybe for relaxed keto, maybe use relaxed keto
relaxed
rather than loose or dirty.
That works for jeans,
she also
right?
said happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I love your name. Like, props to your parents for naming you Rachel. But that's what we call jeans, right? We'll say relaxed. Nobody's like, this is my period pants, or I don't want something tight on my butt or my legs. We call them relaxed, and I enjoy relaxed jeans. So I like relaxed keto. It sounds sustainable, right? Because I don't want uptight keto, because sometimes maybe we should also like be careful with what we call clean. Maybe, we could say, I'm not going to say dirty keto. I'm going to say relaxed keto. And I'm not going to say clean keto because that sounds a little self-righteous. I'm going to say uptight keto.
Right.
Right?
Last one we have is from Sue.
Hey, Sue.
Congrats on your newest grandbaby.
Thank you.
As a grandparent to 3, you will definitely have room in your heart.
Feel better.
I will say that your first grandchild will always have a special place in your heart because that made you a grandparent, but you will do awesome.
Thank you. I actually, this morning, it was kind of a funny, marriage moment.
I'm so excited.
We're going to get to have Peyton. It was funny. He was putting together, we have a thing because she has her own bedroom in the RV, which we're so excited about. And so he was putting up she is a roller like Anthony. He basically kung fu fights when he sleeps. Poor Sarah. I don't know what that marriage looks like, but Peyton moves around a lot when she is sleeping. And so we've got this guardrail up that is no nonsense. She's not going to roll out of it. But we were putting that together this morning and I had to just look at Joe and say, thank you for making me a grandmother because this is a bonus child. She's not my biological grandchild, but
she looks like you.
I think she does look like me, and she is just the delight of my heart, and so is Parker. And I had to thank you. Thank you for making me a grandma.
I'm excited because you get to spend a lot more time with Peyton than I do.
Yeah.
And so, I'm listening to you and your mom talk about what we're going to do on Tuesday, and I'm like, y'all should just stop planning because this is my day. You don't even need to
I was going to say we can just stay home.
This is what I'm doing, and I'm going to guide her with where we're going, and nobody else has any input other than her. Y'all are just along for the ride. But I've got awesome that we're going to work on the bathroom, and we're going to go ride the tractor, and we're going to go out and feed the chickens and work be damned this week.
Right. Chris said, how many times has Joe watched the K-pop Demon Hunters with Peyton? I have heard so much about this. In fact, Caleb and his girlfriend had watched it last weekend and said, oh, it was so good, but I have not watched it yet. Is it good? Chris, have you gotten to see it? Because I've heard so much talk about it. I love, K-dramas. But I'm wondering, we'll have to look it up. Laquita said, happy birthday to the first Rachel I like. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get into the comments. Lola said, I'd wanted to say what Sue said. You'll have enough love for all your grandchildren. My first is my first love, but her brother also has my heart.
Yeah, I've seen that, demonstrated through my mom as well because, I'm 5 years older than my brother. And so he started later having grandkids. And so it was like a second wave, so you had my boys and then you had Jonathan and Elijah be born from my brother and my sister, Becky. And it was the same.
Yeah.
It was the same. She loves all the grandkids.
Serena said, is it weird when I talk about 2KK or the berries, I call my friends?
Yes.
And I talk about the creators of Salt. They are amazing people.
We're friends.
That's how we look at it.
Legit friends.
Our best and closest friends are all in this community.
It's you.
Trish said, I just bought a little bottle of liquid organic coconut oil to make mayo. Recommended by Marie Emick. Yes, you can use coconut oil to make it as well. A little bit harder because you have to worry about solidifying, but it does work.
But you may like the texture.
Yeah. Let's see. Tad, 59-year-old lifelong battle, keto now 2.5 years down, 100 pounds.
Yes.
I feel great. CRP down from 5.5 to 1.4. No longer tapping on the type 2 front door.
Way to go, Tad. Congratulations. That is so freaking awesome.
Trish said another great reason to cut all the sugar out of my diet, maintaining cancer survivors.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I saw Trish and Serena talking about they have a little bit of twinsies overlap. They have so much twinsies overlap. I love it.
Let's see.
I saw Cindy DeManchia is here. And we're talking about friendship. Andy and Susan, I think, are visiting Cindy this past weekend. I just love getting to see everybody be friends and do things together and visit one another. It's just, it just blesses my heart so much.
Well, Cindy actually said, because Chris was talking about the beta blocker, my cardiologist put me on a low dose beta blocker and it caused palpitations.
Oh my gracious. That's so scary. That is so scary.
Trish said, makes me laugh when there are meds that say side effects may include constipation. Oh, you read that one already.
Well, there is an old Saturday Night Live skit that I think is worth taking back out of the box, where it was talking about, it was the medication that they did was like Chantix, I think, or it was like, you know, trying to get rid of like your addiction to smoking. And so it was like things that it may cause is like, you know, Robert De Niro hands, you know, or face, or, you know, jazz hands. And it was crazy. And we laugh about it, but these side effects are serious, yo.
John said the problem with gastric sleeve is eating until you're full is meaningless since 80% of your stomach doesn't exist. So there is no way to know if you've eaten enough. And that is where I think that, and this is something we've talked about for people who've had gastric sleeves, gastric bypass.
It is challenging.
Now the challenge is you have to be looking at nutrient density.
Yes.
And I hate to say this, for people in that situation, you have less of an ability to have fun food.
Right.
I mean, and I mean, that sounds bad, but it's like,
if you can't get it all in.
If I can only fit all of the food in this box, that is what I can have. Well, do I want to do this and then fill the rest up with steak and not get enough of the nutrients that I need from the steak? Or do I want to throw these away and only eat this much steak?
Fill it with burger.
And since the nutrients are coming from the steak and not this, then that's what you have to look at. And that's where, you know, I can't wait to give those to Peyton. That's where you have to look at, you know, we talk about people are like, I need more protein. Looking at things like dehydrated meats, carnivore bars, things like that, because you're going to get a lot more nutrient packed into a smaller volume. So you have to be looking at, if I can only have this much volume, I need the most amount of nutrients possible in that volume. Yeah. That's why one of the reasons that I know that when people have gastric bypass surgery, I don't know if they still do this, but you know what they used to tell people is like, you can't drink with when you eat,
because you're trying to save the space at the time.
Right. And I had actually, before Rachel, dated somebody who had gastric bypass, and she would sit there with a straw and like do little droplets, like hold, you know, put her finger over the straw because she wanted something, but she was not allowed to drink when she ate, and would have to like put drops of water in her mouth. It's
really challenging. And there are a lot of people who have had bariatric surgery within the Two Crazy Ketos family. So I'm going to encourage you to share, maybe even in our solo mission group, because like maybe you live in a house like that, you know, multiple people are keto, but one of you have had a surgery and one of you have not. And so it's very different as far as like how you eat and when you eat. Please share some of the tips that you have for others in order to get proper nutrition in, and some of the things, because I think it would really benefit people to know that they're not alone. There are a lot of people who have gone through this. And if you share your experience, I think it can be a real blessing for others and really have like a sense of camaraderie in there. I think it's important. Sean said, that's why I hate the Jardiance commercials, unhealthy people dancing around like it's the best thing in the world. It messed me up bad. It was the start of neuropathy in my feet. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's hard. Lori said, I've not missed a day of walking since Rachel's walking video 3 years ago. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing that. Sometimes you wonder if you make a difference.
So Adele wanted to know, do we have a discount for Caraway cookware? Yeah.
Yes.
Let me put it up right here. So this is a discount for Caraway cookware. There's a link down below.
It is amazing.
So right now, Caraway cookware is having a big Labor Day sale. Like everything is on sale, really good discounts. But then if you use our link, you will get 10% off on top of whatever the sale price is.
Yeah.
And so again, thank you so much to Miriam Bear for introducing us to it, because for the first time ever, in 17 years of marriage, 17 or 18, I don't know. You've lost track. You were talking about it the other day.
I don't remember that.
But
a long time
in our entire marriage, for the first time, Rachel's not burning the pans. She's not burning the stuff in the pans. She's not scratching the pans.
Look at me.
She is like, this cookware makes me a good cook.
I cooked the KetoChow pancakes in the pan in the oven, so I didn't have to flip anything. Because if you guys have known me for a while, like
nothing sticks to it.
Nothing sticks to it, and so
and it's not Teflon.
I know. And so I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where like I phased the pan was with the KetoChow pancakes. I know I'm going to make it stick. It did not stick. And I'm not putting anything in. I'm not putting butter in it. I'm not greasing that pan. I'm not putting parchment paper on it.
Yeah. You're happy.
I'm happy.
You're happy.
Because I suck at cooking, and this is making me...
I didn't say it.
This is the Labrador Retriever of pans. It just makes you look like a raccoon.
Chris said, I am not happy that Miriam found Caraway. We have purchased like 4 different sets of pans from them because Miriam wants... one for the trailer, and one for the house, and one for the other trailer.
Because once you've cooked with it...
I want the Dutch oven.
So Joe had, like, you know...
I immediately went and bought the baking pans.
He's starting to find stuff from, you know, like, we are able to start bringing things into the house and unpacking it.
One tote at a time.
One tote at a time. And so he brought in, and there was, like, a Le Creuset pan, and I found myself snarl my lip. Like, oh, well, I'm not using that. And it's a Le Creuset, right?
Yeah, like, but this was the Teflon. We're selling those.
But I'm just like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm not using that. I'm still using my Caraway pans.
Okay, we are going to get off, guys. Thank you so much. Chris says bacon pans. I want bacon pans.
Caraway bacon pans.
Baking.
Yeah, baking.
The problem is there's other ones I want, but they never have it's all got to match.
It's like, yeah. But you got your New York accent sometimes makes an appearance. It's like when Anthony went through speech therapy and produced a Boston accent. So he'd be like, Mom, Dad, let's get in the car.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I was like, what? He went to speech. I mean, but it did help a lot.
So we are going to get off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I think it was Cindy asked about the KetoChow September box. We're going to be unboxing that. That video will go up tomorrow. If you need KetoChow, go ahead and use our link. We really do appreciate that. Rachel will be live in the Mighty Networks Meathead group on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then we will be back live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
We love you guys.
Bye.